Now, this is just the beginning of the fight over immigration reform. Congress is currently looking at a bill agreed to by a bipartisan group of senators. One of the elements of this immigration bill is how to treat the undocumented workers already in the United States. There are about 11 million of them, and a key sticking point in developing immigration reform is helping employers identify who they can legally hire. We begin our immigration series on CCTV with this report from Jessica Stone.
If you ask Andy Shalal, it takes a special kind of person to work in his restaurants.
You know, anytime you're dealing with hospitality, you're dealing with people. And when you're dealing with people, all the variables come into play.
Since opening his first Washington, D.C. area restaurant in 1985, Shalal has interviewed hundreds of employees for all kinds of positions. But he says when it comes to their immigration status, he just asks them to provide 2 forms of government identification.
So we ask them the bare minimum. We don't feel like we are here to enforce immigration laws.
Immigration attorney Becky Young says employers are actually legally limited on what they can ask a prospective employee.
If you, for example, asked someone's citizenship in an interview, you could be sued for citizenship discrimination.
But they have to ask something to determine someone's ability to work.
Right.
So what can they ask?
They can ask, are you authorized to work in the U.S.? Do you now, or will you in the future, require sponsorship?
Trouble is, U.S. law puts the burden to keep illegal immigrants from working on the employer, and enforcement is way up. Since President Barack Obama took office, immigration enforcement has audited more than 7,000 employers and imposed more than $80 million in civil penalties.
We hear from many employers that they don't think it's fair and that they don't really know what they're looking at.
In 1997, the U.S. government started something called E-Verify. It's an online program that allows employers to look up an employee's name and find out if they're work eligible. But it's not mandatory throughout the country, and more than 20 states have laws that affect its usage.
Shalal says he doesn't use E-Verify, saying his goal is to make sure his employees are documented and pay their taxes.
I can see calling the police for someone that's doing something terrible, but I can't imagine that someone is working so hard washing dishes and is just barely trying to make it, that they would be doing something so bad that they have to be kicked out.
Andy Shalal knows firsthand. He immigrated to the United States from Iraq at age 10 and was an undocumented worker for 5 years as an adult. Now he's an American citizen who employs nearly 600 people.
I think I've contributed a lot. And I think most immigrants really come with the idea in mind that they're going to work hard and try to make it work here in this country.
Jessica Stone, CCTV, Washington.